Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Podcasts. I am Emma, and I am so deeply grateful to have you here in our quiet space for learning and reflection.
And hello from me. I'm Leo. It is a pleasure to be back. But Emma, I have to tell you, as I was walking to the studio today, I realized that we are all being followed by something that changes our heartbeat, our mood, and even the very words we choose to say to a stranger.
That sounds quite dramatic, Leo. What is this mysterious thing following us?
It's something we often ignore, yet it is the most powerful force in our social lives. It can turn a crowd of strangers into a community, or it can send us into a deep, quiet retreat within ourselves. Most people think it's just background noise, but today we are going to reveal why it is actually the secret key to human connection.
We are talking about the hidden psychology of the world above our heads. If you stay with us until the end, you won't just learn vocabulary, you will learn how to read the emotional climate of your life.
But before we pull back the curtain on this mystery, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell. By joining us, you are making a choice to nourish your mind and your English every single day.
And if you find value in these deep dives, please give this video a like. It helps our little community grow with love. Now, let's dive into the mystery of the universal bridge.
You know, Emma, I was thinking about the bus stop phenomenon. Why is it that when it starts to rain, everyone suddenly starts talking?
It's because the weather is a shared reality. It is the one thing that everyone in a specific place is experiencing at the exact same moment. It removes the barriers of status or history.
It's true. You don't need to know someone's name to say, wow, this wind is really picking up, isn't it? It's a safe opening.
Precisely. It's a conversational handshake. It says, I see the world the same way you do right now. For English learners, it's the perfect way to break the ice because the phrases are simple, but the connection is real.
But it's more than just small talk. Have you noticed how a clear, radiant sky actually changes your internal chemistry?
Absolutely. When the sun is out, I feel like a different person. I have so much energy. I feel productive. I even find myself smiling at people more often.
It's like the sun is a natural battery for the soul. But then there's the opposite. The gray, overcast days that feel heavy.
I used to find those days depressing, but now I've learned to appreciate the cozy factor.
Cozy. That is such a quintessential English word. It's hard to translate, isn't it?
It is. It's that warm, safe feeling of being inside, wrapped in a soft blanket with a hot cup of tea, while the rain rhythmically hits the window. It's a permission slip from nature to slow down.
I love that. When it's sunny, we feel a social pressure to be outside and doing things. When it rains, that pressure disappears. We are allowed to just be.
The rain teaches us patience. You cannot rush a storm. You just have to wait for it to pass.
I actually play rain sounds on my phone sometimes. It creates a buffer between me and the noisy world. It helps me focus on my work or fall into a deep sleep.
But we have to talk about the small disasters of weather too. The moments when nature completely ruins our plans.
Oh, I have a classic one. I once spent 3 hours preparing a picnic. I had the perfect spot, the perfect snacks, and then the sky turned black in 5 minutes.
A thunderstorm?
A massive one. My friends and I ended up sitting in my tiny car eating sandwiches in the dark while lightning flashed all around us.
A car picnic. That sounds like a scene from a movie.
It was uncomfortable and crowded, but we laughed more that day than we ever would have in the park. Bad weather forces us to be creative. It forces us to pivot.
That's the beauty of it. The challenge creates the memory. If the weather were perfect every day, we would forget half of our lives. We remember the storms because they tested us.
And if you're enjoying these stories, please share this episode with a friend. It helps our community stay connected.
If you're still listening, comment the word radiant below. Let's see who is feeling that internal sunshine today.
You know, Emma, our language is full of weather. If someone feels a bit sick, we say they are under the weather.
It's such a descriptive phrase. It comes from old sailors. When the sea was rough, they would go beneath the deck, literally under the weather, to find a place where the movement was less violent.
That is fascinating. So being under the weather is about seeking shelter.
Exactly. And when something is incredibly easy, we say it's a breeze, a light, pleasant wind that carries you along without any effort.
I hope this conversation feels like a breeze for our listeners, but we also have to talk about the winter blues.
Yes, when the sky is grey for weeks and the sun disappears, our brains stop producing as much serotonin. We feel a bit heavy and slow.
That's why we have to create our own mental climate. We have to find things that make us feel bright inside, even when it's dark outside.
The wind is a great reminder of that. It tells us that nothing is permanent. The clouds are always moving. The air is always changing.
I've always been fascinated by snow. It looks like white sugar. It makes the whole world go silent.
It is beautiful for an hour, Leo, but then comes the slush.
Slush, that messy gray mix of melting ice and street dirt.
It's the aftermath. Just like in a big life change, there is the beautiful initial moment, and then there is the messy work of moving forward. You have to navigate the slush to get back to the dry ground.
I suppose that's the balance of life. The light jacket weather. Not too hot, not too cold, just perfect for reflection.
Precisely. If the weather never changed, we wouldn't appreciate the perfect days. We need the cold to appreciate the fireplace. We need the rain to appreciate the harvest.
It teaches us that even when the sky is dark, the sun hasn't gone anywhere. It's just waiting behind the curtain.
That is the philosophy of endurance, isn't it? Knowing that the grey is just a temporary filter over the gold.
I've noticed that people's fashion even tells a story about their resilience. Have you seen how people dress in a heat wave versus a cold snap?
Fashion is just another way we adapt to the environment. In a heat wave, we are trying to shed our layers, trying to stay light and breathe. In the winter, we wrap ourselves in sweater weather to preserve our inner warmth.
Sweater weather. That's another beautiful term. It suggests a time for softness and protection. But Emma, what about the humidity? That sticky feeling in the air.
Humidity is like emotional tension. It's heavy. It makes everything feel more difficult than it should be. It's the static before the storm breaks.
And when the storm finally breaks, there is that smell, the scent of rain on dry earth. Do you know the word for that?
It's called petrichor. It's one of the most loved words in the English language. It represents relief. It represents the earth finally being able to breathe again.
I think humans need our own petrichor moments. We need the release after a long period of tension.
We really do. Sometimes we have to let the internal storm happen so that we can have that fresh, clean air afterward.
You know, Emma, I once saw a rainbow in the middle of a very difficult week. I was feeling quite downcast, another great weather word, and suddenly there it was.
A rainbow is the perfect metaphor for the art of the pivot. It requires both the rain and the light to exist at the same time. You cannot have the beauty without the struggle.
It made me stop walking and just look up. For a moment, my problems felt small because the sky was so vast and vibrant.
That is perspective. The sky reminds us that we are part of something much larger than our daily worries. It invites us to be sovereign over our own attention.
So if the weather is our teacher, what is today's lesson?
Today's lesson is that atmosphere is a choice. You can't control the clouds, but you can control how you walk through the rain. You can choose to be the person who brings the sunshine into a grey room.
I love that. Being a sunny personality doesn't mean you ignore the rain. It means you choose to shine regardless of it.
And for our English learners, remember that every mistake is just a bit of slush on the path. Don't let a little mess stop you from reaching the destination.
Keep your mental compass pointed toward growth. Use these weather words to describe your day. Tell someone, I'm having a radiant morning, or it's a bit misty today, but I'm finding my way.
It makes your English so much more soulful and authentic. It moves you away from the textbook and into the heart of the language.
Well, Emma, I think we have truly mapped out the landscape of the sky today.
We have, and to our listeners, thank you for being the light in our community. We see your efforts and we are so proud of your journey.
Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We have so many more mysteries to unravel together.
And hit that like button to send some warm fronts our way.
Tell us in the comments, what is your internal weather right now? Are you feeling a breeze of excitement or a fog of confusion? We are here to listen.
We really are. Have a wonderful day, and remember, the sun is always there, even when you can't see it.
Bye for now, everyone.
With love, keep growing. Goodbye.